Hey everybody, it's John Rodriguez here with Loan Mortgage. Thank you very much for watching the video. I want to just give you a thank you for that. I do appreciate it. If you enjoy the video and if you like the information, please give it a like, share, subscribe. Trying to grow this channel. It's very hard, but I'm going to keep doing the videos, even if it's just, 5 of you guys watching it, because you guys are my 5 best audience people, right? So anyways, I want to talk about what's going on in the market today and how it looks for buyers compared to sellers. And I also want to give my professional opinion on what you should do as a buyer right now. Okay. Because that's what I specialize in. I help buyers get into homes, all right? And I'll talk a little bit about my experience in the past, what I've seen before, what's probably important to you that you may not be realizing. So I hope this video speaks to you if you're thinking about buying a home, because I want you to know how it can impact you in the future if you sit on the sidelines right now, okay? So right now, we're seeing price drops, lots of properties, and we're seeing more properties being put out on the market, and we're seeing less applications, less buyers, okay? I don't know why it's happening, but my guess is since interest rates are not dropping, and they should be, but they're not dropping, we have a new presidency. A lot of people are kind of worried right now about whether they should buy or not. I think those are the main 2 reasons why a lot of people are not buying, in conjunction with we just went through massive inflation the last 4 years. I mean, hyper rapid inflation that drove the prices up. We're finally got maybe about the last 12 months of income being raised and people getting adjusted to that, and people still adjusting to inflation. We're still seeing the aftershocks of inflation, such as the price of insurance going up about 3 to 4 times what it used to be for homes, and probably for cars too. I don't know, my car insurance hasn't gone up, but you tell me. But I do know home insurance has gone up dramatically. It is ridiculous with home insurance. It is. I even have insurance agents that are getting out of the business because they can't sell insurance anymore because it's so damn expensive. So all that is causing a slowdown in the real estate market right now. And let me tell you why. If you're thinking of buying, right now is probably one of the best times to get in. All right. And let me tell you what will most likely happen if you don't decide to get in. All right. So a lot of people say right now, well, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until interest rates drop before I decide to buy, because interest rates are just too high right now. You and a lot of other people are thinking like that. All right. So keep that in mind. Hold that thought. So as that's happening, a lot of sellers are saying, well, the value of my home is going to drop if people don't buy. So I'm going to put my house on the market. So we're seeing a lot more houses go on the market right now, and they're not moving. And every seller wants too much for their house right now. They're asking for $20,000 or $30,000 more than what it's actually worth. Okay. More than what it's actually worth. And that's what they want. And a lot of them are holding firm and they're not dropping their prices. However, this month I've seen sellers now saying, you know what? Okay, let's drop it 15,000. Let's drop it 20 because the other 3 people on the street put their house up for sale and they got theirs 10,000 lower than mine because, their realtor explained something different to them. Right. So then they're dropping their prices finally. And, they're dropping them 10,000, 15,000, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, but they're still too high for some people because of interest rates and because of uncertainty in the market and all the things that I just explained that we're going through. So right now, interest rates should actually be lower than what they are today. Every other country in the world has interest rates lower than us, except for the US. The Fed chairman will not drop interest rates, and he's going to be the Fed chairman for the next 12 months. So for the next 12 months, he's pretty much vowing to not drop rates. I think he finally mentioned that he may drop them if we head into a recession. Anyways, I'm not going to really get into that because you don't want to know my personal opinion on that. But the point is that he's claiming he will not drop interest rates because he wants to have enough time to react to tariffs. That's his whole reasoning. Okay. So tariffs are going to take a while to negotiate. So during this time, we know interest rates are not going to drop. So this market is going to continue to grow into a buyer's market where you're going to have more properties going on the market, less buyers coming in. So more sellers are anxious to get somebody to buy their home. They're desperate. They need you to make an offer on their home. They need to sell this property. Right? But you as the buyer now say, well, I'm going to wait till interest rates drop because I know what I'm doing. I know the prices are going down, so I'm going to wait for rates to drop. That's what you're thinking as the buyer, right? Everybody and their mother is thinking that, just so you're aware. Every buyer out there who's on the fence is thinking the same thing you are thinking. What's going to happen when rates finally drop in about a year's, the forecast right now? That's the rumor. Everyone and their mother is going to come out of the woodworks to buy a home. And those prices of homes right now probably dropped another maybe 5%. Maybe not that much, maybe 2 or 3%. Because a lot of these sellers are sitting on lower interest rates anyway, so they can afford these homes anyways, right? They're just selling because they're trying to cash in, and they're trying to cash in as much as they can because they're thinking prices are going to drop too, just like you're thinking prices are going to drop, right? So now when rates actually do drop and the prices of the home maybe drop a little bit, and a seller dropping a home 20, 30 or 50,000 doesn't mean that that's what it's worth. What it's worth is what it's worth. They can put whatever sticker price they want on that property, right? So them dropping at 10, 15,000 doesn't actually mean it's worth 10 or 15,000 less. It probably was worth that anyways to begin with. But anyways, I digress. So now let's put you in the future in a year from now because you waited and you were smart, right? And you were waiting for interest rates to drop, right? Now guess what? You and all the other people that were waiting come out of the woodworks and they now want to buy. So that property that went from, let's say 400,000, which is kind of like your average price right now, 400, 420, 450. Let's say it was 400. I'm just going to use 400 as a number. That property dropped to 380, right? Okay, 380 now is the price for that $400,000 property. But now as soon as rates drop, that property is going to be getting 5, 10, 15 offers, maybe 20 offers. And that seller can now do what to the price of that home? You can increase it another 20, 30,000. Well, I know what you're thinking is, well, how can he increase it 20 or 30,000 if it's not worth that, right? Well, out of those 20 offers that he received, he can negotiate with those 20 offers, or she can negotiate with that seller can negotiate with those 20 offers and see who wants to come in with the extra $20,000 to buy that home now. Right? Now, if there's a lot of properties on the market and still not enough buyers, you're still going to have a buyer's market. But what tends to happen is a lot of these broker contracts that list these properties are only good for 6 months. So they may not even want to relist because they couldn't even sell their property, right? So what's going to happen is when it flips from a buyer's market to a seller's market, there's less properties on the market now, right? Because a lot of these sellers are now thinking, oh, the value of my home's going to go up. I'm going to wait to sell because I have a 3% interest rate and I can afford it. So I'm going to wait to sell now because the values are going up, because the rates are 4%. And now everybody and their mother wants to buy, right? So you're going to have less properties in the market, many more buyers. And if you're one of those buyers who waited, you're either going to need about another 20 or 30,000 out of pocket on top of your down payment, on top of your closing costs. You may even have to pay the buyer's commission and the seller's commission. You may have to come out of pocket $50,000 to buy a $400,000 home versus right now. If you just get in right now and you get a grant and you ask the seller to pay your cost, because sellers are desperate for buyers right now. You ask the seller to pay your cost and you get a grant, you probably come in with $1,000, maybe $2,000 to buy your home. And then when the rates drop, you refinance it. So if you don't know what a refinance is, it's where you apply for another loan to pay off your old loan of your 6.5% interest rate. You apply for a new loan at 4.5% interest rate to pay off your 6.5% interest rate, and you get a brand new mortgage on your home with a lower payment. And I know what the naysayers are thinking, yeah, but that costs $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, right? Yeah, but how much are you saving on interest? And it's not necessarily true that it's going to cost you $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 to refinance your home. It may cost you $0 to refinance your home. So that's the beauty about refinancing. There's lots of different programs out there and everybody's case is different. So don't listen to the naysayers out there. Listen to the professionals out there. Get a consultation, right? Work with somebody that you can trust. Work with somebody that you can trust, that you can ask questions to, that you can get clear answers, that can consult with you, because every person's situation is different. That way you can make the choice that you need to make, okay? Every situation is different out there for every single person. You may have heard that your cousin Eddie got this type of loan, right? And that he only came in with $500 and you got a 3.5% interest rate, and he's bragging to you and telling you don't buy because if you can't get the same deal I got, why should you buy a home? Don't listen to those naysayers out there, because that was a different time, different situation, okay? Completely different year probably than it is today, right? Don't listen to, you know, Cousin Lupe who says, oh, well, you know, my house payment is only $800 and yours is going to be $2,500. You shouldn't buy. Just wait for the prices of homes to drop. Don't listen to the people that bought a house one time in their entire life and now they think they're experts, right? Talk with an expert. Talk with somebody that can get you the right information that you need. Consult with a few people. Call a few different experts. But make sure they're going to give you the time of day to sit down with you and talk about all this, okay? So that's it for the video. Like, share, subscribe, please. I really appreciate you watching the video. I hope you got value out of this. I hope that if you're thinking about buying, that you understand when it doesn't seem like a good time, if the expert's telling you it's probably one of the best times to buy, that you really take that into consideration versus looking at somebody's situation that they bought maybe once or twice in their life and, you know, they think they're an expert and they're going to tell you not to buy. Okay. You can reach me. My number is 702-506-3244. Again, 702-506-3244. Thank you for watching the video again. I hope you liked it. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it very much. Have a great one.